Everybody, back on Behind the Gloves with another interview. I'm joined by an in-life version of Eddie Hearn finally. First and foremost, how are you? It's been a while.
I'm good, mate. I'm excited. You know, we had a plan a while ago, and to see it come into fruition is quite humbling, really, to be honest. Like, don't want to sound, you know, like, well, not even cocky, but don't want to sound cheesy. But it is, you know, this is our HQ, it's my old family home, and you know, we're in a state at the moment in sport, in boxing, where things are difficult. And to come back with a project like this, I'm really proud, and I hope everyone enjoys it starting Saturday night.
When was the light bulb moment? When did you go, do you know what, Bonnet, I want boxing in my back garden? When did that come?
Lockdown had just started, and I was sitting out here, but I can't tell you that it was like a magic moment, because I've always talked about doing it. You know, we did Froch Andre Ward press conference here a few years ago. We had a ring in the middle, we had public workouts for media and stuff like that, and we always joked about we should do a fight night here, it'd be unbelievable. But obviously 4 weeks of that and no crowd, and you know, building a facility like this, we would never have envisaged. I mean, I'm looking at that canopy now, I'm thinking, how much was that? Do you know what I mean? You've seen your changing rooms, all individual change rooms for fighters, showers. Once I get the bill, I'm going to have an absolute fucking nightmare. But I wanted to make a statement. I wanted to show people that we're major players, that boxing is a major sport. And I don't believe you can do that in a little studio with no energy or no atmosphere. So people are excited. People are talking about fight camp. People are talking about, when's the show in your garden? Is that real? You know, but that's all about hype and perception. But the quality's good as well. The fights are good, and I think it's going to deliver.
You obviously are going to say all 4 cards are amazing as you're the promoter, but from a fan standpoint, which one are you looking forward to the most? Which one do you think delivers the most action?
Well, I think you can't, you know, when you talk about White, Povetkin and Taylor, Pursoon, it's a massive night. But, you know, when you look at the 3 normal Sky Sports nights, I do feel like 1 is probably the strongest. 2 might be the most important because of Harper Jonas, you know, in terms of the first all-British Women's World Championship fight. But I think there's a lot of sleeper fights on the cards that people might not, you know too much about. And like when you look at week 3 and you look at Felix Cash against Wellborn, I think it's going to be a great fight. But I also think Zelfa Barrett against Eric Donovan is a great fight as well. Shannon Courtenay against Rachel Ball is a great fight. People might not realise how good that fight is. Even Aqib Fayaz against Kane Baker on week 2. Conway against Mansouri is a great fight as well. You know, Billum Smith against Thorley is a great fight. So I think, you know, people do look at week 1 and say this is a banger. And by the way, so it should be. It's the first one. So we hope that it delivers what it should do and what it says on the tin. But I feel like now we've done our job. You know, we can go out there and say, guys, it's over to you.
Just taking away from the fight cam a little bit, I just want to take your reaction on something that happened about a week ago. Oscar De La Hoya didn't turn down the opportunity of maybe fighting his own fighter, Canelo, in his comeback, which I thought was really strange. The first image that came to my head was you against AJ, even though you weren't a fighter yourself. Yeah. But it's a bit strange.
It's slightly different. Oscar weren't a bad fighter. You got to be careful, you know. It's difficult in that position because, you know, my relationship with AJ, I've never been a fighter, like, you know. So, but with Oscar, he was a great, and obviously, I don't know if there's part of him that it's a bit of a weird thing to say, but almost doesn't want Canelo to eclipse him, you know, or his legacy. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but and I'm not saying that comment was about that, but you've got to be a little bit careful because probably Canelo will start thinking, mate, what are you talking about? You know, like. So, I don't know. I think some of the Oscar De La Hoya comeback stuff's been a bit strange, but listen, people are talking about it, and you know, when you talk about Tyson returning and people like that, Oscar De La Hoya's still quite young and fresh, and you know, but I feel like those days are over for those guys. But you know, great was a brilliant fighter.
You talk about comebacks. You mentioned Mike Tyson, Roy Jones. Crazy. I don't know how lockdown has influenced that, but one thing I want to talk about that fight is that the fact that it's going to be $50 for an exhibition match, which sounds kind of weird as well.
I just think the whole pay-per-view price in America is crazy. Like even $69.99 or whatever it normally is, like it's a lot of money. It's 50 quid, it's 45 quid, whatever it is. And you know, Tyson against Roy Jones is £40 on pay-per-view.
Exhibition as well.
Yeah, I know. That's my worry. That's my concern with the fight, because if they turn around and win, do you know what? We're going to get in there and we are going to go absolute hammer and tong at it. I might pay. Do you know what I mean? But there's too much uncertainty of what is an exhibition. They might do a round and then do an interview at the end of the round, and you'll be sitting at home watching it going, what the fuck? Like, or you know, someone's just messing around and dancing around and stuff like that. I would rather, although it shouldn't happen, I would rather they went at it. I'd pay then. You know what I mean?
There's one fight on the undercard that obviously you know well of, Jake Paul. I just want to ask first and foremost, is everything between you and Jake okay? There was a little story that went about you unfollowing him or something.
I don't really know, because someone started messaging, like whenever you do anything that's YouTube related, my feed just goes potty, right? So someone put out like breaking news, Eddie Hearn unfollows Jake Paul. And when I went to my Instagram, I looked at it and I wasn't following him. So I was thinking, I've never clicked unfollow to Jake Paul, so maybe I was just never following him. So then I thought, shit, so I followed him. And then people go, oh my God, he's re-followed him. I'm like, bloody hell, does it really matter? So it's another world, isn't it? You know, Jake, by the way,
You get picked on everything you do.
yeah, it's all right, mate. I'm used to it now. But Jake Paul can fight. Like he's not a muppet. He may be one of the best out there in that world. I don't know the guy he's fighting. I think he's an ex NBA. Yeah. So listen, it is what it is. It's going to do well. You know, listen, we've been offered it at Sky.
What, the Nate Robinson?
No, the whole night. You know, they're going to be pay-per-viewing it around the world. So it's difficult because it's probably going to be a bit naff, but probably a lot of people want to watch it.
Finally, just one more question. We are back as of with no crowds. Premier League potentially coming back in October. They're going to do some pilot testing. What do you know about boxing coming back to full arenas? What's sort of the time length that we're looking at?
Well, conversations are ongoing with the government, and we're lucky enough to be approved as a test event for the World Snooker. It's about 350 people starting this week in Sheffield, and it's just constantly trying to take baby steps, you know, 1,000, 2,000, etc., etc. So, you know, then we get to a point where can we get a full O2 in December for AJ? We hope so, but a lot depends on the numbers, where we go from here, is there going to be a spike? But right now we can just focus on what we do know, which is for the next 4 weeks, this is the home of boxing.
Would AJ fight here?
He would, yeah. Yeah, he was here recently. I mean, he used to train on this lawn, you know. But of course, we want to bring people back and we want to drive revenue into the show. But if he has to fight behind closed doors, he will.
Eddie, appreciate your time as always. Good.
Hey Fight fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps. If you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you go ahead and do so by clicking this icon right here and hit the bell button so you can get notified every time we upload a new video. And we also have a free app available on iTunes and Google Play. So make sure you go and download that. Bye Fight fans.